All right, we're back on and recording. We're good. So speaker views are up. Let me just make sure we got what we need here. Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. It is now 1 minute after 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm excited to be here with you today for our first virtual LifeVantage Academy. As you guys know, the LVAs are a training that goes on around the country. And we do our LVAs every month. It's just in some locations, well, not some locations. Let me say this properly. In all of our locations within our organization, we choose 3 months out of the year to get together in hotel rooms or facilities around the US and Canada to do a 4-hour training. And in talking to a bunch of leaders and people that have influence in and outside of our organization, we wanted to be able to continue to give you guys monthly training that would provide the newest people with training without having to wait a few months, because we also do workshops, as you guys know. And these workshops, some of them are happening right now, and that's great. If we have leaders that want to set up workshops in their homes or small gatherings, that's really best. It's really the best way to do it, because the hands-on approach to this thing is absolutely what is essential at building an organization where you can help your newest people with things that you might not even think they need help with. And so if you're out there and thinking about doing a workshop, I would recommend it. And you, as the person that's going to be doing that training, you have the ability to schedule that workshop at what's convenient for you and your organization. So if that happens to be today, that's perfectly fine. We are going to record this. It's recording now, so that for those who maybe are doing workshops, want to watch this later, they can watch it. But at the same time, there were a lot of people remotely all over the United States, outside of the United States, that were not getting that monthly training. They were not getting that needed essential training. And we thought that we would do something virtually so that we can get people logged in from all over, despite their rank. And I'm excited about today's format. It's going to mimic our LifeVantage Academies in that we've got a couple keynote speakers. We also have a panel put together for people to learn from some of our newer members, from some of our more experienced members of Team True Blue. So we're excited about this format. We're going to do it again next month on the 3rd Saturday of the month. And for some of you out there, good morning out on the West Coast. Maybe you're having breakfast. Maybe you got a few people together for bagels or orange juice or coffee. Maybe I'm up on your big screen right now. And if you're on the East Coast, you probably just slammed some lunch down like I did. I was trying to check my teeth to make sure I didn't have any sandwich in my mouth. That's not pleasant to look at. So anyway, guys, welcome to this Team True Blue LifeVantage Academy virtual style for the month of May. What I want to do right away, because we're on a schedule today, let me kind of set up what you're going to get. In roughly about 25 minutes, we're going to get into a panel, and that panel is going to have Dr. DeLucia in it. It's going to have 2 other leaders. Jill's going to be in there. Sharon's going to be in there. You'll get introduced to these ladies personally here in a minute, and let them share with you what's working with them. And it's going to be kind of a question and answer format. And that panel will last probably in the neighborhood of about 30 minutes. And then from there, we're going to jump over to Carlos Blanco, who some of you guys are starting to hear about. Carlos, I can't say enough about how excited I am to be working with Carlos, and he's going to bring a lot of value to you out there. There's some things he's going to share today that are just so good, so good. We got Tim Cox that's going to be on with us as well, talking about some of the things that he's working with his teams right now that I thought was very relevant for the entire organization. And if you haven't heard, they just got their news. Their second baby is going to be a baby girl. So congratulations, Tim. I think, I'm just saying, as a dad of 2, I know everybody kind of wants the boy girl, or many do. We kind of wanted the boy girl thing, and to some extent that's good. But the other side is, man, like you can't just have one friend over, because if one friend comes over and it's a girl, then the other one wants a friend, and so like they have, it's like this constant battle. So this isn't about parenthood, but congratulations. Happy for you guys, you and Sarah. And then the final few minutes, I'll wrap up with you guys with some thoughts, some strategies to close out the month of May. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. I'm going to share my screen right away. And in doing so, I'm going to take you guys to our website, the teamtrueblue.org website. And I want to just start to highlight some of the things that you should be looking for and using on our team site. So you guys should be able to see that clearly. And if you're watching this on an iPhone or iPad, I hope you get the full scope of this. But you'll notice that some things have already changed to the website, the look, the new logo's there. I love the new logo, guys. I think it's awesome. The swag is going to be coming very soon. But I want to key in on a couple things. Number one is the Learn button here, guys, has things that are going to help you get a deeper knowledge of how to either A, take advantage of the trainings we have in place, like social media training, some of the current promotions that the company is doing. So your pace setter stuff is there. Your trips to Mexico are there, as well as events that are going on within our team and the compensation plan video. Under tools, these are the things that we use to build our business every day. So our Life Biohacked link is there. The business overview or LifeVantage overview is there. A packet of recruiting scripts, which are, guys, amazing. If you're having difficulty inviting people to this business, there may be some examples in there you've just absolutely fallen in love with. There's a 8-step process you can follow that is kind of an industry standard, as well as our latest PowerPoint that you can download. There's no need to ask us to email the PowerPoint. It's there all the time. And then under the Connect button, you'll meet some of our elites there, a little bit of their background, our team. Our Facebook groups are all there, as well as the information for our weekly calls. The international side of this thing is growing by the day. There's more buttons every day being added to this in content. So come over to the Start button, start here, and I want to go to the Get Started checklist, and I'm excited to show you guys this. You click on it, and immediately you'll see a PDF that comes up. Okay, you guys should be able to see that on the screen. And if you click on the PDF, it then takes you to this checklist. And we're going to be talking about this checklist today a little bit. And if you don't, well, probably none of you have this yet, because we just uploaded it yesterday about 6 p.m. It is a revised edition of our previous checklist. And I wanted to take a few minutes to start this training by going through this checklist with you. And obviously, I'm not going to go through the things that you can read on your own. That's not the point of this. The point is sharing with you the strategy and why having a checklist is important within your organization, but also maybe taking you through the flow so that you understand the flow. And I want to speak to the importance of getting your team started with the proper behaviors and expectations. And so we can't, there's no way that you're going to get everybody that you enroll into your organization to fit into one mold. So that's not what this checklist is about. For instance, in some parts of my organization, we have people that are just gathering. When I say just gathering people maybe who have never done network marketing. I was going to say just normal people, but that was me. I think that's a lot of us. We're all normal. We put one foot in our clothes at a time, right? We all brush our teeth pretty much the same way. We're all normal people. But when I say normal to the business of network marketing, meaning people that have never done it before, people who don't know where to start, don't have a network to call that has done network marketing. And so for that reason, I was one of those people a few years ago. I kind of needed to know just tell me what to do. Like, what's step one? You know, what's step two? And so I, for that reason, was in need of guidance. And there's a lot of people out there building very successful businesses with people that have never done network marketing before. And it's important that they have some guidance. On the far extreme of that, there are people in our organization right now that are gathering pretty much only network marketers with experience. And so for some of them, they're not going to go through every step of this. And you'll probably see it becomes pretty obvious pretty soon if you have experience that some of these things aren't needed. Nevertheless, there are some things, no matter what your experience is, that this checklist is important that you go through and familiarize every one of your new enrollments with, because there's information here that's going to save you time. This checklist has been put in place on our team site and downloadable so that you can take every one of your new enrollments through it. And you'll never have to hear someone say to you, well, you didn't tell me that. Well, I didn't know that. Well, we hope that we covered a good bit of that here so that you don't hear that from your personal enrollments, right? So to get started, we just basically say, hey, we want you to feel welcomed and confident. Isn't that when someone's confident, they're pretty successful at what they do. When they're not confident, they second guess themselves. And if you're second guessing yourself in this business, it becomes very evident to your network or the people you're prospecting that you're second guessing yourself. And that doesn't work out very good. So we want to get you connected. We want to get you guys confident out of the gates. And so you'll see that the first subheading is getting connected. And the first one you see out of the gates is a welcome video. We're going to go through that quickly. That's not important. You can watch that at a later time. But we do want you to get connected to our Team True Blue Facebook group. And all of these on the PDF are hyperlinked. So if you're online, well, you'd have to be online to get the video. You can print this off as many as you want. Or if you're online, you can just click on these links and they will take you straight to these spots. So we hope that will be a convenience to you. It certainly took us some effort to do that for you. So get involved with our Team True Blue Facebook group. You may not be big on Facebook, I get it, but you will want to be a part of that Facebook group because it's where a lot of communication happens. And there's some really valuable information there that keeps you plugged into the team. Remember, this is getting connected. The next thing you want to do is get to our YouTube channel. You can follow the instructions there. We have our own private YouTube channel in a couple languages right now. We're working on a third language for tools and videos that are at our Team True Blue page. So just go into YouTube in their search engine and type in Team Space True Space Blue, right? Team True Blue. And we'll be the first search option that comes up. Click on it. Then subscribe. Make sure you subscribe because then you'll get the notifications when we put the new videos up, okay? We want you guys to also get everybody familiar with Zoom. Why? Should be obvious. We're on it now. It's a big part of the way we communicate with our teams. And on Monday, we use Zoom to communicate with the team. You can also call in. You see the phone numbers there. We also are streaming that on Facebook as well. And we want to get you connected with our events. So for instance, today in just a few hours, we have the motorhome tour that's going on in Louisiana. So let me see if I can test this out. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on this thing. And it should, nope, that didn't work from the PDF. So let's pull back to here. And if we go to connect and we go to events, just want to kind of show you how this works, right? You'll see today's flyer. There's the flyer for the motorhome tour, but then here's the calendar. This is what I really wanted to show you guys. So if you look over here, you can click on the motorhome tour here, or even for tomorrow, the motorhome tour there. You click on it, and you can see the address, the times, the locations, okay? And then you can actually copy that right to your Google Calendar if you're using Google. So I hope that's beneficial to you guys. We certainly have put a lot of work into that as well. So we hope you're going to use that to build your business. Let me go back to where I was. So we'll go back here. It might take me back to that same page. Now it's going to open it again. So we'll scroll down. Okay, so you guys get that. We just finished now the get connected. The goals, I'm not going to go through this. This is very obvious of what you do there, but setting expectations is extremely important, and it's important that you do it early in the conversation. Why would we set goals now versus at the end of this checklist? Well, because I want to know quickly what my new enrollment wants. And it's important for you to know quickly what your new enrollment, I mean, you may think the first 30 days someone should be a Pro 3, whereas your new person just might want to lose 5 pounds. Maybe that's their goal in the first 30 days is to lose 5 pounds on the product, right? Or we just need to know early in the conversation what our new people want, okay? And I didn't cover this in the first section of getting connected, but it's become more and more obvious to me how important having a fun, energetic, loving community is to building a big organization. And so that's why we want people connected. Many times they'll connect, they'll see this thing that is bigger than they could ever imagine, and then now they're more excited. Maybe that changes their goals, okay? But it's important that we have these 3 goals written down because those 3 timelines are extremely important to your business, guys. You guys heard us talk about the golden window on last Monday's call. If you didn't, go back and get that recording at our Team True Blues YouTube channel. But it's important. In fact, if you help someone get an enrollment in their first 2 weeks, it drastically increases their chances of having success. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have success if you don't have enrollments in the first 2 weeks. It just means if you do, there's a much better chance statistically, right? So 30 days is a big number or timeline that we need to be concerned with for expectations. As you guys know, a lot of people enroll and 30 days later they're gone. Okay, well, guess who doesn't disappear? People who get checks. If you get your new enrollment a check in the first 30 days, they're probably going to be around for another 30. If you don't get them a check, they may not be around. Okay, 90 days is a big timeline in network marketing. People usually can hack it for 90 days with the negativity of their family and their friends and maybe their husband or their wife or aunt or uncle. They can kind of resist it for 90 days. But after 90 days, if they're not having fun, they're not having success in their mind, most of them will be gone. And so it's important for you to know from your new distributor what 90 days success looks like, okay? And set those expectations appropriately. 1 year is critical. If you get someone beyond a year in their business, there's a really good chance that you're going to have a distributor that has success and that you get to build something really cool. So that first year is super important, right? So that's why it's early in the process of this checklist. Getting organized. Well, why would you need to get organized before you get launched? Well, we might need to know how to organize our list and our prospects and how to put that together, right? Before we start calling people. Getting launched is one of the most important parts of your business. Now, this is where you'll start to maybe see some resistance in the checklist because people are scared. Let's just face it. They don't want to go out and tell their friends, or they want to do this their way, and that's okay. We're no one's boss, right? Everybody has got involved with this to build something for themselves. What they have not done and never would sign up for is to have another boss, okay, or another job. We don't want to create that. We want to create an atmosphere of fun, creativity, things that are enjoyable to do. But nevertheless, any business, okay, if you signed up as a distributor and you have any inkling of hopes or ideas of making money, that means you want to run a business. And a business has a start date. And no business is going to have any success if you don't launch it with some type of excitement and sincerity that I'm doing this. Okay, so like if you're kind of thinking about doing this and hey, that's your approach, like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing this thing, that's not going to have success. So we hope that you can pick a date and a time to host your first meeting. And that's kind of defined there what that first meeting may look like. Okay. And at the end, guys, I'll get back to the chat and I'll see if I can answer some of your questions at the very end. But we need to stick to a timeline for our guests and speakers that we have on here today. So, and I want you to download this checklist and go through it at a later date, or if you can now, that's fine. If you have the ability to do that while we're doing this online. The getting started section of this checklist is the biggest, the thickest section of the get started. It's the part of this business that where the rubber hits the road. And so we wanted enough detail in here that you would be able to start, but not so much detail that you would look at this checklist, get overwhelmed, and set it aside, okay? So what you'll see in here is immediately start inviting 3 to 5 people a day, all right? Secondly, a really short script to our lifebiohack.com, followed up by some instructions of what to do after the call. I'm not going to go through this. Nevertheless, you should look at this, all right? And number 5 under getting started is that link to those recruiting scripts, all right? So we've kind of referred to that a couple times now. The next step is getting social. Guys know that a lot of people, especially in North America, in network marketing, have turned to social media as a way of building their business. You might say, why? Like, that's kind of weird. Well, it's because it's where the attention is. It's where the eyeballs are, and it's where many people are communicating today. That's kind of the intent of social media, if you think about it, is that you can put one post out of one picture of what you're doing today, and your entire network is now updated. Okay, it's called updating your status, right? Of what you're doing and what's going on in your life. Now, the entrepreneurs of the world have said, whoa, wait a second. There are billions of people looking at Facebook, and I can, with 3 minutes, put a post together, or 10 minutes, put a post together, and leverage my time so I communicate to all these people. So if I put out an engaging post, or I put out a funny post, or I put out whatever type post, that might attract people to me where they want to know more about me. Whoa, there's an opportunity here. And there is. It's huge. And so I recommend that if you're not on social media, you at least start educating yourself, because I kind of almost feel it's like other technology. Like, you may have said years ago, like, I don't know about, CDs. I'm going to keep using these VHS tapes for my, Blockbuster. I don't know about downloading my movies or streaming my movies. I kind of like these VHS tapes and going to Blockbuster. Blockbuster is gone, right? And so we're not saying that our cell phones are going to go away or telephone lines are going to go away, but I am saying that it's never good if you stop growing. And if you don't like something like social media, to me, at least the way I view it, I view that as a challenge, right? Like, I really don't like it either. I'm not a big social bug. But I saw it as something I needed to educate myself on, and I'm going to encourage you to do it as well. So I want you to get social. And if you want, you can build some of your business or all of your business on social media. I love to throw this out because this is going to blow your mind. I know a woman personally now, got to kind of hang out with her a few times, that, well, she herself is earning over $250, probably close to $300,000 per month. She's over $250, I think, to $300,000 per month. And if you combine her boyfriend's income, they're in the same company, they're over $500,000 a month, not a year, a month. She's never done a home meeting. She didn't even know what it looked like. Never did a home meeting, entirely built the business online. Now, I'm going to tell you, without getting into detail, she's just an alien when it comes to the hours and the ethics of work ethic. Nevertheless, it's pretty phenomenal what can be done online. And we have training online within the teamtrueblue.org, but also in our Facebook groups. This is one of the links. We're putting together a checklist. As you see here in step 1, we're going to have a separate checklist just for social media. That's going to be more detailed, more specific than we currently had. And that's one of the modifications. Is our other previous checklist had social media stuff and non-social stuff, and it was really not working for either group. So that's what that group is about, right? That subheading. Getting paid. Well, who doesn't like to get paid? And there's things you need to know if you want to get paid from LifeVantage. So we've put a link into the compensation plan, as well as giving you a little bit of detail there of what you need to do to get paid. Because one of the worst phone calls I got years ago is from someone that signed some people up, and they're like, hey, I didn't get any money. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So by the time I tracked it down a day or so later, I realized they never set up enough of an auto ship. And so they didn't get paid. And so we don't want that to happen to you or your downline. So getting skills, okay? This is kind of what we're doing right now, getting people connected to the events, the trainings, the LifeVantage Academies, whether virtual or in real life, and our Elite Academies. The links are there with a little bit of explanation to what is in some of the packs. And then finally, guys, getting results, right? And I love this because this is really where it gets back into the lap of the new enrollment to decide if they're ready to get going. They'll go through this checklist, then they'll take this checklist, they'll call you, text you, message you, and say, hey, I'm done with the checklist. I'm ready to schedule my virtual business plan meeting. And I want it to be virtual because that gives you leverage. Doesn't have to be. You can sit down with them, but I'd like you to do it on Zoom or over Facebook Messenger so that you're familiarizing your new enrollment with the technologies while you're training them. It's like double training, right? And I want you to go in here and use this time to go through the checklist, find out their goals, make sure they have all their questions answered, and then give them their DMO, their daily method of operation. Like, hey, I want to be a Pro 7 in 2 years or 12 months. Fantastic. This is what you need to do. Here's going to be your daily method of operation. And that's in that next meeting, okay, that you're going to set up. If you want to get results, you're going to enroll them at the Elite Academies. You're going to get them to the LifeVantage Academies. You're going to give them the meat and potatoes of what they need to get started. And we're going to be actually launching some documents to help you sit down with your new enrollments and develop this DMO, daily method of operation. So there you have it, guys. There's our checklist. And I hope you see the flow of the checklist and why we went in the order that we went in so that we give everybody the best chance they can to get started. So I'm super excited about that checklist. And it's really important as a team that we're onboarding people the same way and allowing people to have the creativity to go out and build this business the way they want, but giving them the necessary guidance to set them up for success. That's what that's all about. So that's that for the checklist. I hope you guys enjoy that. Download it. Keep a copy with you, a couple hard copies with you. But nevertheless, if you don't, just go teamtrueblue.org and go to the Get Started tab, and there you have it. So with that, we're going to start this panel, guys. So I see Dr. DeLucia has his camera on, so go ahead and unmute your line there, Dr. DeLucia, and let's see if I can get, let me go over to Sharon. Let's see if I can turn their cameras. Give me 1 second, guys, while I go in here and turn some cameras on. Jill, I'm about to turn your camera on. So there you go. You can start your video. And Sharon, there you go. You can turn your camera on. There is Sharon. All right. And we should be in speaker mode. So what that means is when you're speaking, you will be the main video being shown. But let me set this up a little bit, guys. A lot of you know Dr. Gene DeLucia. He's such a humble guy. He's like, just call me Gene. If you don't know Dr. DeLucia, I can just tell you he was and is a big part of our team and of LifeVantage. He's from the Tampa Bay area. I'll let him give you a little bit of a background, but I joke about this, and maybe some of you guys have heard this, but we were uncertain when we first started this, and we were a few weeks or few months in, I can't remember now, and I hear this doctor's at one of our meetings. And then the doctor, signs up. And the next thing I know, the doctor's at the Tuesday meeting every Tuesday. And I couldn't be more excited because, what validation for a product when you've got a doctor, not just a doctor, a well-known doctor in Tampa that is putting his patients on this product, Protandim. And so we loved having Gene be a part of the organization. You're going to learn a lot from him today. And thank you, Gene, for being on here and taking some time out of your Saturday. I know you're a Florida guy. I know you like the water. So I'm looking outside. It's beautiful. So you're probably like, hey, get me off this thing so I can go enjoy my weekend. So I appreciate you being here. We got Jill Allison on. She is from the Northeast. It's Jersey, right? Jill, you're in the Jersey area? Go ahead and unmute your mic, or maybe let's see. There you go. I got you unmuted, and now I got Sharon unmuted. So you're from the Jersey area, right? Still muted. We can't hear you, Jill, even though I got you unmuted. Let's see if you can unmute yourself. Sharon, check your mic.
Can you hear me?
I can hear that. Yep. Heard you, Sharon. Jill, let's check your microphone. Test, 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 Jill. Your mic's working? No? Don't have you, Jill. We don't have any sound for you. Okay. So we'll come back to Jill. Sharon is on because Sharon's been a part of LifeVantage for quite some time. I'll let her kind of tell her story a little bit, but has had some success recently that's got her super excited and got my attention. So I called her this week and I said, can you be on here? I got some questions I want to ask that I think is going to be beneficial for everyone to hear. So, and Jill, just kind of let me know, wave at me when you have got your mic working. So, okay, you're going to call in, kind of back up.
Let me get rid of this. Hang on a second.
There you go.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Brent?
I can, Gene. I got you loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Now you
All
should
right,
be
so
able
there's Jill. Her mic's working now. So Jersey, right? Jersey area? Jill? Uh-oh.
I'm in Central.
We're losing your connection, Jill. I don't know if your Wi-Fi is not strong or signal. We're losing you a little bit. It's in and out.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay, I got rid of Wi-Fi with Sprint.
Yeah, sometimes I know you never know with Wi-Fi. So go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself? Where are you from?
Okay. First of all, guys, my name is Jill Windish. I have to change my Facebook site. It says Jill Allison. That's my middle name. So I am Jill Windish. Okay. I'm from Central New Jersey. I'm born and raised a Jersey girl. And I do have a Jersey accent, and I say coffee. But anyway, quick introduction. I'm going to be 55 years old this year, and I lived most of my life sick. And I needed a better way to get healthy, and that is who I am.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you joined us. And I'm glad you're on our products because I already know they're helping you not be sick. So that's cool. That's good stuff. So why don't we start with Dr. DeLucia, or I'm just going to say Gene, right? Because I know that's what he likes. So Gene, why don't you let the folks know a brief background of your practice in medicine and some of the accomplishments.
All right. Well, thank you, first of all, Brandon, for having me. I'm very excited to be on here and share this with people. But my name is Dr. Gene DeLucia. I'm a DO, board certified in family medicine. I've been in practice in the Tampa Bay area for, this would have been my 40th year in practice. So I enjoyed what I did. I got a little bit burned out on it as we went along, because as I was aging and my patient population was aging, I was having pass out more and more pills for endpoints, because in Western medicine we don't cure diseases. If I treat your gout and your blood pressure and your diabetes, and all the pills I give you are to treat an endpoint, not a cure. And I got I got upset with it. I got frustrated with it. I was doing it myself. I was taking medications. I'm passing out tons and tons of pills for Band-Aids. And I really got frustrated. And I really started looking around years and years before even LifeVantage came along. And that's really where I started. I really believe in the law of attraction. I was looking, and it came to me in the form of an ABC video. And that's really where I saw almost 8 years ago now. And it literally, changed the way, changed my life completely, changed the way I practice medicine. So that's what really excites me. And you're right. I remember those old meetings where we used to sit, and I'd sit in the back room until you'd make me stand up and say something.
Yeah, it was so awesome. You know, Gene, I'm going to do like a throwback. We're going to do a throwback meeting at the Hilton Garden Inn in Ybor City. It'll be fun.
None of us were good. None of us were good.
It'll be fun though. We'll have a good time there. So why don't you, the questions, many people would have for someone like you, I mean, and you're a Pro 7 in LifeVantage. So tons of success as a distributor now inside of LifeVantage, a healthy, growing team. I know Jill is a part of your organization. What attracted you? I mean, I know you just said with that introduction, hey, I was kind of looking for something that wouldn't be the Band-Aid, but what was it that made you go like, okay, this is not the Band-Aid? Like, what was it? What made the jump? Because, it's network marketing, Gene. So.
Sure. Well, first of all, I had no intention of doing the business. But when I saw that ABC video, I just, a light bulb went off and I went, wow, this may be what I've been looking for. And that's really, it got my curiosity enough to, I wanted to go look at more. So I ran home and looked at everything I could find on Protandim. There were only a couple studies published. There were a couple patents that were out there. I read through all those. I looked to see who Dr. McCord was. I looked more at oxidative stress. I understood the basic concept of oxidation, which is the rusting of our body, cellular damage, and inflammation, which is caused by that oxidation. It's the root cause of every disease also. So those are the things that I got excited about when I really saw what it was. And then when I looked at NRF2 activation, I thought, wow, what a unique way to do this. So that's really what excited me most. When I saw the science behind it, I said, wow, I want this. I want this for myself. I want this for my family. I want this for my friends. I want this for my patients. And that's really where I started. And my belief grew the first year that I started using this in my clinic. I checked everybody. I did all their lab work that I could do, and I followed them. I did it when they started. I did it 3 to 6 months out, and I did it a year out, and literally saw people get healthier and healthier, myself included. And I started to take people off their medications, and I thought, wow, this is why I went into medicine, to truly help people, not to put Band-Aids on things. And so I got a huge belief over that first year of what we have. And it literally changed the way we practice medicine, honestly, entirely. So pretty exciting stuff.
That's awesome. That's incredible. If my memory serves me, Gene, the two areas I think you told me, at least this goes back a few years ago, the two areas that just you continue to see very predictable success, I think you told me was in the world of diabetes. I think that was one. And I think the other one was in the antidepressant world, where people were just on tons and tons of antidepressants. Is that, am I right? My memory served me?
Well, those were two of many. I can tell you though, as I went along, and now that I've done this for almost 8 years and seen this in thousands of people, when I start to reverse the damage at the cellular level, it really doesn't matter the disease process, because I'm reversing everything. I'm reversing the damage. I'm making people healthier. We're getting rid of the inflammation. So, but yeah, many of my type 2 diabetics, I was taking them off their medications, including some of them off their insulin. I got off all my medications within a year, and I was on 4 medicines when I started taking Protandim. My patients that were depressed, I was having many of them come back 6 months in or so and come back and say, wow, I quit taking my antidepressant. I don't need it anymore. I feel better. I feel more energy. I feel more alive. I feel healthier. And that's really what I saw. More and more of my patients would come back in and they'd say, wow, I joined the gym. And I went, you what? You joined the gym? I've been after you for years to get off your lazy butt and do something. And they'd come back and say, I've got more energy and the pain went away. And I just want to get up and be healthier. I want to do more. So it was quite a revelation for me And it continues to be. I see it all the time. I'm not surprised anymore because I know what we have and what we can do for people, but I'm still thrilled when I hear stories, and I hear them all the time. So
give us one of your favorite. Give us one of your favorite with your patients, and I know you got to be careful, but you are a doctor. So you can get away with things that I can't, but give me one of your favorite stories.
Well, you know these people, and they were originally, Michael and Paula. Paula was in a wheelchair. This was probably 5 years ago. Someone showed her that ABC video. She has MS. She was on multiple medications. She was in a wheelchair almost all the time, multiple lesions on her brain MRIs. And she went home to her husband and said, "Hey, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to try this." And in less than a year, she was off her medications, out of her wheelchair. Her MRI scans were stable, no new lesions at all. They just got back from 5 months in Europe, and they're active hiking and biking. They're just getting ready to leave for the summer into the fall to go to Glacier National Park to camp for the whole summer. Literally got their lives back because there's no way they would have had that before. And it's exciting. It's thrilling to me to see that. And I see it all the time. I can tell you time after time in disease after disease, things that I've seen that I just never saw in the first 30 years of my practice that I see now every day. It's exciting to be part of. People that don't realize what we have realize it. We have NRF2 activations is the biggest breakthrough in the history of medicine. Washington State University said that. I firmly believe it. So
that's awesome. I mean, can you imagine if you know some friends, like we get to the point where we say, like, listen, once you know things like what Gene just shared with you, you become like morally obligated to get behind this and share this with people, because how could you live with yourself because you were selfish, thinking, oh, I don't want my friends to think I'm crazy, so I'm not going to tell them about this amazing product, right? That's selfish. Like, you got to share this with people. So last question for you, Gene. Knowing what you know about not only the products, but also the business, give them like your best advice. After the years that you've been around, someone wants to take advantage of this. What's something you'd like to share with them? Best advice to set them up for some success.
Well, to me, it's helping other people. That's why I went into medicine. But when I found this, I just found a better way. So I want to share this with people. Don't be a salesperson. Be a friend. Add this to people's lives. Just share it with people. People want it. People are looking for better health. People are looking for income. People are frustrated with their jobs. People are frustrated with what they're doing. The majority of people I talk to aren't thrilled with what they're doing. They want something better in their life. They just don't know what it is. I did. I just didn't know what it was. And I didn't know what network marketing was. I had some vague negative thoughts about it. But as it turns out, I love it. It's the best business in the world. I'm not doing all this by myself. I have people like Jill in my organization and so many others that we work together and we grow this as a team, and you and Fred and everybody else has helped us. It's fun. I mean, we've made more good new friends. As you know, this has changed my life. I've got my significant other and a whole new family through LifeVantage. So yeah. Am I healthier off all my meds? I'm also retired. I've got my time freedom back, which I did not have and I desperately wanted, and financial freedom. I don't know anybody that doesn't want those things.
Right.
So you know what the lifestyle is like. It's great. I love it.
Well, thank you so much being gracious to be on here, sharing some of your precious time with us. And we love having you a part of the organization. So thanks so much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
So let's go over to Jill. We were just talking about Jill, part of Dr. DeLucia's organization up in the Jersey area. I had Jill come on because she's had some success out of the gates, but she has had a little bit of experience from other network marketing companies as well. And I think that's valuable for our team and the LifeVantage distributors to know. So Jill, why don't you share a little bit of what attracted you to LifeVantage?
Okay. Well, first of all, I've been so blessed to be on this call. I told you I was blown away that somebody like you, my hero, invited me. I'm just nobody, okay? I'm just a girl in Jersey doing my thing. And I thank you for including me today because it means a lot. What attracted me was obviously the products. I mean, I was the most skeptical person, and Gene will tell you, when I met him, I didn't look at the video for a week. And I did my research. Trust me, I saw every YouTube video there is. For 1 week, I looked. And the products, I couldn't believe that there was nothing negative about them. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, well, they said I could make money. And I said, okay, this, my first network marketing company was my dress rehearsal. So that's how I'm looking at it. This will be, the real deal. And I didn't even look at the comp plan. And honestly, Eileen, who's my upline, and Terry Tomlinson will tell you, I didn't even look at it. I just tell me what I have to do. Because I kind of knew and I had the experience, but the products were shocking to me. I thought I had the best products before, and I said, okay, I'm just going to go with this and go with this and go with this. And then when I was hearing the people, I knew people can get off medication like Dr. DeLucia. I want to say at one point I was on 10 different medications myself, and I'm not that old, and I'm down to 3, and slowly but surely I'll get off those too. So just the fact that the science was there, and the fact that we had people like Dr. DeLucia and Terry Tomlinson that I could call at any minute notice. And that's what was so attractive to me. It was my wow factor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we've had a few private conversations, and you expressed that to me, like that in your previous network marketing opportunity, you just didn't ever get a chance to talk to the pros in the upline.
Okay, so that's the truth. Okay, so the difference is that the people here care. The difference is people make you feel important. They make you feel amazing. They're there to, be your cheerleader. It's not all rah-rah, sis, kumbaya. It's work. But you know what? People like Brandon are here. Casey Graves, Fred Graves. Are you kidding me? I mean, when they call me, I have to pull off the road. When you guys call me, I have to pull over the road and breathe. I'm like, what? I'm just a Jersey girl. And it's just overwhelming because, in my other company, I am bold and I have thick skin. I would, go to these kind of academies and walk up to them and try to take, one of the rah-rah sis kumbaya picture. And they're like, yeah, okay, go away. But you're not like that. And it's just heartwarming that it's a different family. It's a different feeling. Brandon, maybe you don't know Brandon. I joined on October 27th. And when was our Elite Academy? November 1st, something like that, like a couple days later. And I said, screw it. I'm getting an airline ticket and I'm going. And my husband says, where are you going? I said, just go with it. I got to do this. And I did. And I'm staying in a hotel room with 2 women I didn't even know. But you know what? They're my bestest of friends now because Eileen and Terry are there every step of the way for me. And when I walked in that room and I saw what was going on, I was like, there's not, excuse me, Sharon, I know you got blonde hair, but it wasn't the blonde hair and pink pocketbooks that I was used to. Okay. These were men, powerful men. I mean, look at you guys. We got Brandon, we got Tim, we got Fred. I mean, I can go on and on and on. There were men. This was not just women because most of the other network marketing companies are primarily women. This is men and women locking arms together. Powerful couples, powerful. I mean, you and Lynette are amazing. Fred and Casey are amazing. I mean, Tim and his wife, it's just, you don't have that other places. And I told my husband, enough already, get off your butt and work with me. So we were on our way for sushi last night. He says, you have to tell me, I know the products are helping me, but what do they do? So, because he's a salesman. My husband is a salesman by nature for 35 years as car salesman. So I'm trying to train my husband now on exactly what the products do because it's time for him to step up to the plate and work the business with me. So he sees me working and he says, you're doing your thing. I said, yes, I'm doing my thing. When are you going to do it with me? So
awesome.
It makes a big difference.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you share that, and stop saying you're just a Jersey girl. Stop saying that. Don't say that anymore, because you wouldn't be on here if you were just somebody. You've done very well. You're pushing. I know you hit Pro 4 pretty quickly, didn't you?
I hit Pro 4 February 28th, and I'm praying to God that we get 5 this month.
There you go. Okay. Well, listen, Pro 4 is not just anybody. That is a serious rank. There's a lot of people watching this right now that would go, I would love to be a Pro 4. I know you had some experience. Pro 4 is not your ultimate goal, so I get that. But I just wanted you to share that little bit about what the difference is. Now that we've kind of crossed that, what do you see, like, from LifeVantage, like from a LifeVantage standpoint? What are some of the things that you're doing that has enabled you to get to Pro 4, and what are some of the things you're doing that's helping you, or you're doing to get to Pro 5?
First of all, 95% of my business is online. And I listened to a training video. I don't know where I found it, but something you did recently that touches home. And guys, if you're not watching one of Brandon's videos or somebody else's video every day, you're not helping yourself. You need to keep, I don't know everything. And every single day I listen to somebody. So today, Brandon, one of the videos I watched, again, I don't remember where I saw it. Actually, PJ posted it on somewhere. And it reminded me that, you know what? NFL, no friends left. It happens. Most of my good friends, I don't know where they are. You know what? And if you're not here to support me, I'm sorry. Someday you're going to look back and I'm going to give you a ride in my Jeep. Okay. And that's just the facts. You have to be thick skinned, and not everybody's going to agree with you. Oh, she's just a crazy lady that's always selling. No, I'm not selling it. I'm sharing you what works for me. I'm sharing what works for others. And if it doesn't, you don't want to come for the ride. You know what? I have to look the other way. The most important thing, you have to be real. You have to be a real person. And I am the Jersey girl, okay? But I'm a real person, and you have to do things other than LifeVantage. You have to show real life things. Like lots of times I see people's walls, and I try to watch and follow other people. But when it comes to social media, you have to show things of, what you do on a daily life. Here, this is my perfect analogy. I don't know if anybody's ever done online dating. I did. Okay. This is no different than online dating. You have to put yourself out there and be your best person. You don't want to show things on an online dating site that you don't want people to see. Think about it for a minute. And if you did online dating, that's where I met my husband, guys. Okay. So it's scary. It's not fun. But you know what? No one paid me to do that. No one gave me a check. And you know what? The first time I got a check from this company, look, I saved it. It's right here every day, because I go, what? How did I get this? My first check put me in tears, because all I did is what I knew to do, make relationships with people. Just like if you were dating, you're trying to build a relationship to see if you can get along. And I build relationships with people. And listen, it's not all, unicorns and rainbows. I just told a couple of my team members yesterday, I was told to go to hell yesterday. And I was told I was. And then I was told that someone told me I'm annoying them, and all I was doing was following up. But okay, but you have to be nice and say, you know what, I'm sorry if I've upset you. If you're here, I'm here if you need me. Yeah. It's thick skin. I mean, we get rejection. I used for my other network marketing company, I used to have an Academy Award. I don't have it anymore. Decided to get rid of it for having the most no's in 1 month. I had 97 people say no. Yeah. No means not right now. So you have to tell your story. You have to tell your story. And that's what I do. And actually, Dr. DeLucia can attest to this. I decided that I'm telling Dr. DeLucia's story. And if you go on my wall, I told Dr. DeLucia's story and Brian's story about how 7 or 8 years ago, this UPS driver went into the doctor's office and blah, you know the story. Yeah. Anyway, just from a post like that, I got, 20 or 30 engagements. And you need to engage to get people to watch you. People are watching me. And by the way, Dora, we were doing this. So when I just saw somebody send me a message, somebody I worked with 10 years ago finally said, hey, Jill, I just saw one of your posts. My husband is MS. So I'll have to get right back to
There you go. Let me see. So let me kind of make sure I'm getting the summary here. 95% of your business you're building online, meaning clarify just quickly, 95% of your time is spent building online, or 95% of your volume?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. That's great. So what we'll do, and I think what I'd like to do is have you do. You and I will do a training at some point, and we'll talk about exactly some of your strategies, and we'll share that with the team. The other thing I'm hearing is that you have to be authentic. Just be authentic. Be real. But put your best foot forward. Right. Like when you put stuff on your wall, what I tell people is, as soon as you decide to start building on social media, well, actually, the day you become a distributor, whether you believe it or not, if you have a social media account, your social media account now is a business tool, and you're being judged by what you put on that wall.
Absolutely.
So if you're putting negative stuff on the wall, or you're getting kind of like sarcastic with I've seen people, Jill, that have actually posted on their Facebook accounts, like, my friends are stupid because they won't listen to me. And they actually type it and post that on their wall. And I'm like, so I guess now you're going to wipe all these friends off your Facebook account and get some new ones because you just told them all they're dumb, right? Like, be careful of what you put on your social media accounts.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people are not nice to me sometimes. And, and the other thing too, ladies, you got to know, I'm sorry to say, the men, not you guys, but all the military men, I have 15 requests a day from people in Afghanistan and whatever, God knows country. They're creepers. I had a creeper today from someone downtown. Oh, well, give me your phone number. Well, you can reach me on Messenger. It's just fine. You're going to get that, okay? You just have to be thick-skinned and know how to weed them out. Things that I do, we can do a separate training on it, but things that I do is I tell my team, you have to broaden your network. When I started network marketing, I had 200 friends. Now, I now have 3,700, but there are strategies which, I've learned from other people of what you have to do to get your things noticed, because these algorithms, they change every week, I swear. And what works this week doesn't work next week.
Yep.
You never know. And the most important thing is, like I just did before, I was blow drying my hair before we got on this video, swear to God, I did a live video blow drying my hair. So showing everyone this awesome new blow dryer I got from, I do work full time, guys, just to let you know. I work full time. I'm doing this in the car. I'm doing it in the bathroom. I run out at lunch. I do what I do. I don't stop. Because you know what? I'm not working forever. J-O-B, just over broke. And you know what? I'm not doing it. So as soon as I can replace that income from my full-time job, see ya. That's my goal. That's my goal.
Well, thanks for being on here. I appreciate greatly you being on here with us today, sharing some of that insight for what you're doing, and your appreciation for how LifeVantage is different than some of those other companies that you've been a part of. So
we could go a whole new video on that. I could give you an hour of the differences.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Sharon, let's go to you for a minute. I know you're a busy lady, got some stuff going on, probably at the training, I think you said. So you guys, Sharon Dockery is someone that I've known for a while. Tell us now, let me get my numbers right. Tell us how long you were at, you signed up with LifeVantage and then you were Pro 1. Give me some timelines, Sharon.
Okay. Okay, Brandon. Well, I got started. It's going on 5 years now that I've been in with LifeVantage.
How long before you got to Pro 1?
I was Pro 1 pretty quick. Within the first couple of months, I know that by 4 months, I had hit Pro 2.
Okay.
And so, when I got started, I wasn't looking for anything at all. I had a great job, but it just all made sense to me, and I hit the ground running and had some great success right off the bat.
But then you got stuck. I got stuck. Okay, so I want to get to the good stuff. You got stuck, but how long were you stuck?
Oh, I was stuck for a very, very long time. I've been Pro 2 forever, Brandon. You see my face. I've been doing things. I've been to every event. I love the products. I love talking about everything, but I have not. Listen, I'll tell you what I've been doing. And this is a tip for people out here that are listening. I have been getting ready to get ready to get ready. Okay. And just, I am like, I'm not even the poster child for getting ready. I am the billboard queen for getting ready to get ready, because I have wasted so much time getting ready that and you just don't need to do that. I've wasted so much time doing that, and I have had a lot of things going on in my life, and you know what, I know that they're excuses, because I've had a lot going on in my life. I've went through a divorce in the last couple of years. I lost all of my retirement. I lost my nice secure life after working 40 years. I'm without a job. I'm single, divorced, starting all over. And I had all these excuses that all that was going on. And had I just continued what I started in those first 4 months, you know, I may not be, you know, at your level, but I sure as heck would be a lot closer and wouldn't still be stuck at Pro 2.
But something changed recently. Was it just that? Because I know you're on fire right now. You guys are enrolling people. You're not stuck anymore. So what changed? What was it?
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what it was, Brandon? It was FOMO. I was at Elite Academy in Indianapolis. I saw one thing. I saw how engaged the elite distributors and the masters. I saw how engaged you guys were, how excited you guys were again. And then I saw the Pro 3 frenzy. People were up on stage and they were being recognized again for their accomplishments. And there I sat in the audience again. I missed it. And so then they came out with the Pacesetter program. They started announcing that, which is an awesome new program to get your brand new distributors up and running quickly. But then corporate said, you know what, we're going to give the existing distributors this one more shot at this incentive. We were given 15 days to make Pacesetter 2. And we were given 75 days to make Pacesetter 3. And I thought, you know what, Sharon, this is it. This is your last chance to make an incentive. And I said, I'm doing it. So in that 15 days, I made Pacesetter 2. And I was excited. Let me just tell you this. Let me tell you how it made me feel. I heard comments. Oh, it's no big deal. It's just Pro 2. You know, how long have you been doing this, Sharon, already? You know, and yeah, a brand new Pro 2 or a brand new distributor making Pro 2 in 30 days. Now that's pretty exciting. And I thought, you know what? I listened to that for like 1 minute, Brandon. And I said, you know, maybe looking from the outside, that's what people see. But I knew what it felt on the inside. I knew how I felt is what mattered. And it made me feel proud. It made me feel accomplished. And it gave me that boost to go for my next goal. So my next goal, I immediately set my next goal. I'm hitting Pacesetter 3. That's it. It's about time. I've been Pro 2 forever and ever. And I had dropped back. I wasn't even being paid as a Pro 2 for probably, I don't know, 3 years.
You are now. You are now.
Oh, yes, I am. I made Pacesetter 3. So you know what? I set that goal. And I thought, you know what? I can't do this alone. And so just so happens, one of my distributors came to me and said, Sharon, will you help me with my action plan? And I'm like, heck yeah. So that night I wrote out an action plan for him. I wrote out an action plan for me. And I think that was something that one of Tori's meetings that she was talking about, putting out an action plan. So that's what, you know, so I wrote the action plan out. It was based on both of us. 2 separate plans, but hitting Pacesetters and going for the Mexico incentive and what we needed to do to make those things happen. And so we talked on a daily basis. We knew what we needed to accomplish to get to those goals. Couple of things we did, we kept track of our organizational volume and our personal volume. We knew where we were and we knew where we needed to be. We also looked at our subscription orders. We both upgraded to the Vitality Stack. And so obviously every day we're looking for new business partners. We're looking for new PCs. But what we're doing is we are always recommending what we take, and that's the Vitality Stack. And so when they get started, that's what we want them to start on. We also were looking at our existing PCs, our existing distributors, and we're looking and seeing who do we have in our organization already that's ready to upgrade to the Vitality Stack, or or add some new products to their monthly subscription order. And we're also looking at our existing PCs to see who may be ready to upgrade to a distributor. So just by doing those daily simple actions consistently, and staying on top of it. Both Glenn made Pacesetter 2, which was his goal, and I made Pacesetter 3. So it's been really exciting. And so we immediately now have set our next goal, and we're not slowing down. We're focused on Mexico. We're focused on when we get our new distributors, we are training them right away. Our goal is to help them get the Pacesetter 2 and Pacesetter 3. So, we're setting little goals and making little goals to get us to our bigger goal. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on, Brandon.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Yeah. Guys, so if you're stuck out there, and a lot of people are stuck and have been stuck, what I just heard is a woman that just got tired of being tired, but she was at an event. Okay, that's what I also heard. She was at an event where she experienced FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, and that FOMO combined with an incentive that the company put out that had a timeline. Guys, there was a 15-day and then a 2-month timeline to hit these ranks. She went to work and she did it. Went from being paid as a Pro 1 to being paid as a Pro 3, guys, and getting all that money from Pacesetter. I also just heard that you got together and you put an action plan together, a daily method of operation. Mind-blowing. It's the final step on the checklist. Daily method of operation. She committed to daily actions, and that's what's got her unstuck. Oh, go imagine, right? Who would have thunk it if you just put those things into practice? What I also just heard is the ability to go in and take advantage of some of the assets you already have in looking at ways to upgrade customers, upgrade distributors. So Sharon, thanks so much for being on here today. I appreciate that. I know you got a busy day today, but thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Brandon. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm in Dallas right now. I'm a Florida girl, but I'm living in Dallas. So I just rode 5.5 hours last night to the motorhome tour. I am an official motorhome tour groupie. So I'm in Austin. So anyone who has any guests that can get to New Orleans or Tampa, I've got lots of people invited to the Tampa thing. Do not miss that motorhome tour. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. You added some great value to us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
All right. So now let's jump over, guys, to Mr. Carlos Blanco. We're running a few minutes behind, but I don't want to take away from his time with us today because Carlos is got some things to share that I am really, really excited for you guys to get. Some of you guys, Carlos may be new to you, so let me introduce him properly or the best way that I can. He lives out in Southern California, in Irvine, California, married with kids. To his wife's name is Kumi. He has a beautiful family. And Carlos and I have been working together now for many months. I got to know Carlos last year, and Carlos is a professional. And, people, Carlos will never toot his own horn. He just won't do it. But people throw this word beast around like, oh, they're a beast. You guys are, Carlos is a beast. Like the guy is he's an animal in this business. I've never worked with anyone quite like Carlos. I love something he said last week. He said, you always know where you stand with me, and it's not in the middle. Like lukewarm does not work for Carlos. He either loves you or he hates you, I guess, right? I don't know if he's got a great heart, so I don't know if he hates anybody, but you just know where you stand with Carlos. He has high expectations. And a lot of you guys know some of the growth that's going on within the team, and it's because of Carlos and some great leaders he's brought in. Amazing growth, over $400,000 in volume has been grown in less than the 65, 70 days of LifeVantage life. He'll tell you it's relationships for 10, 15, 20 years. It didn't happen in 60 days. It happened like in 15 years. But the volume's gone in LifeVantage in 60 days. So Carlos and I were together in New York last week, and we were talking about some concepts that he uses that I just think is phenomenal. Carlos, I want you to take the full time. I told you to take 20 minutes, so I want you to take the 20, even though we're behind a little bit. I'll cut some of mine off the back. But guys, Carlos is going to be a great, great asset to all of us on this team. And he's a humble guy, still learning. He's a Jim Rohn guy. He's a Tony Robbins guy. But Carlos, I want you to share with them this concept that you have, the 4-step concept of getting people exposed to this all the way to the upgrades, as well as this customer manager title we talked about a little bit. So thanks for being on, buddy.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Hello, everyone. It's definitely a pleasure and a privilege. Brandon, did you want me to share my desktop? I actually created a little PowerPoint.
Sure, absolutely.
So
I might have to give you the rights to do that. Let me see. I'd have to, let's see, change role. Let's see. Can you share a screen, or do I need to make you the host?
Let me see if I can share screen.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you guys can see it?
Yep,
okay,
got it.
Cool. So that's me right there, Southern California, like you mentioned. My wife, Kumi. Kumi's a certified nutritionist. So what's really cool is before I really do anything, I normally run it by her. If she can believe in a product, I'm a business builder. But in order to be able to build the business, you got to truly believe in your product. Well, how can you do that? If your partner, really knows the products inside and out, then you can go ahead and build it with confidence. My formal education, I'm an accountant, and I hated doing accounting. I did it for a very short period of time because I hated counting other people's money. And so I wanted to count my own money. Got engaged to Kumi. We've been married for about 27 years now. And, people, when they hear Southern California, you hear about the traffic and the earthquakes and all of that. And I just tell people, that's okay, keep believing that. But, once you've lived in Southern California, it's kind of hard, to go anywhere else. I'm kind of proud of being a Southern California guy. And the 4-step process that we were talking about, Brandon, is, I'm very process oriented. I guess that's the accountant in me. And, the 4-step process is expose, involve, commit, and duplicate. And I also understand that there's different types of people that are going to participate. And, it all starts off with being a customer. Customer use products. And I love what Jill was sharing, what Sharon was also saying. You grow people. Just because they start off as customers, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to want to stay a customer. Now, if they want to remain a customer, of course they can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, show a couple of different ways where we can go ahead and take a customer and really, even though they may not want to become a distributor or a leader, they can definitely contribute a lot to your business. And I also love baseball. My thing growing up, big baseball player. I just wanted to be a professional baseball player. Didn't go that direction. Some people that know me know that, I have a passion for the Dodgers, even though I live in Irvine, Orange County. The Angels are close by. I tell people that I much prefer professional baseball, so that's why I'm a Dodger fan. And so, how does this work? If I could go ahead and I could kind of assimilate baseball, if I could kind of make it so that for those people that understand baseball or it's a very simple sport. Baseball, the objective is you want to score a run. And to score a run, there's a process. You got to step on the bases: first base, second base, third base, and home. It's just that simple. And whoever scores the most runs, they're going to win. So what's it take to go ahead and get on first base? Okay, you can never score a run if you don't step on first base. And you can also hit a home run, you know, a 500-foot shot. And if you don't follow the process, it's not a home run. And so I kind of do this for our team, because when I ask them, you know, where's someone in the process? If they say first base, second base, third base, I kind of know where I can step in. And I normally don't like stepping in until it's time to get, you know, from second base to third base, because if not, there's just not enough time in the day. So first base, that's, you know, exposing, that's exposed, that's piquing interest. So how do you go about piquing interest? You know, an invitation versus an invasion. Because what happens many a time, we invade people's, you know, we invade their space. And so what I like doing is I like creating something where people invite me to tell them more, as opposed to me, you know, just like, you know, fire hosing them and just trying to, you know, put it down their throat. And so, you know, creating an invitation versus an invasion, and then also understanding that there's a warm market and a cold market. And you know, Jill was sharing about, you know, NFL, no friends left. And that's happened to me. You know, I've been doing this for about 30 years. So trust me when I share with you, you know, I'm from a fairly decent, you know, sized family. I've got 4 brothers and 1 sister. And, you know, when people ask me, you know, how much product do your brothers take? How much products, you know, does your sister take? My answer is very simple. They take as much product as I will give them. You know, they're not even customers. And it's the weirdest thing. Sometimes the people closest to you don't want to buy from you. And I'm okay with that. And, you know, because I've got others that do. And so, and I believe in the product so much that, yeah, I buy a ton of product and I give away a ton of product to my brothers, to my, you know, sisters-in-law, to whoever I can. If I care about them, I care enough about them that even if they don't buy, I want them to have that product. Because guess what? There's other people that will turn around and buy when you don't expect them to buy like that. So anyways, there's a warm market, there's a cold market. And how do you pique interest? You know, how do you go about piquing interest? And there's different ways. You know, I do some social media. I respect social media, and I understand that it's a whole new, you know, process. I mean, why would I send out a video to someone, a VHS, when I can go ahead and send them a link to a YouTube video, right? And so I believe in technology. I'm a big user of technology. And even though I may not, you know, be the guy who's all into social media, that's okay. I want to have a lot of people that are in social media. So, you know, people on my team that are into social media, they're using WeChat, they're using Line, they're using Facebook, they're using Messenger, they're using WhatsApp. And so we just, you know, different people on my team use different things. And so I'm with them, even though I may not be the guy who's, you know, in there every single moment using, you know, being on Facebook and all that. I use enough so that people know what I'm doing. So piquing interest, whether it's warm market, and I can say, hey, listen, Brandon, I just found the fountain of youth, you know, something that simple. And I always keep it nice and short. Or if it's, you know, if I'm trying to recruit someone and I'm out and about, you know, I recruit at every opportune moment. I prospect and I recruit at every opportune moment. And how do I do that? You know, gosh, if I'm out and about and I just happen to come across someone wherever I'm at, and I happen to ask, you know, them, if I say something like, hey, listen, I'm not from the area, but I'm expanding my business into the area. Would you happen to know of anyone that'd like to make an extra $500 or $1,000 a month? If it's a young person, you know, I got to be able to use their lingo. So I got to be able to say, not, you know, do you know if anyone would be interested in making an extra $500 to $1,000 a month? But I'd have to say, you know, anyone who's interested in a side hustle. You know, so you got to keep up with the times. You got to go ahead and just be out there. Use a few key lines here and there. Second base is getting people involved. And, you know, I was sharing with you that I normally don't get involved. I don't go around piquing interest, you know, with people. Sometimes, you know, I'll have people come into the business and they'll make a list of names and phone numbers and they'll send it to me. Can you contact them? You know, I'm not a telemarketer. You know, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'll teach people what to do, but I won't do it for them, because if I don't teach them what to do, they'll never be able to do it for themselves. And so I love using the tools. You know, we get the best tools ever here at LifeVantage. So the tools are the videos. I love using product samples. And the reality behind product samples is that if you give someone 2-3 days worth of product samples, they may not feel anything. Maybe on the Axia they will, but on the Nerf 1, Nerf 2, yeah, maybe some more energy and stuff. But is it really going to be that significant? For some people, yes. For others, no. I don't give out the product samples to have someone have a life-changing experience in 2 or 3 days. I'm fully aware. If you want to get a true benefit from it, do it at least 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But by giving away a product sample, what I've just done is I've just activated the law of reciprocation, which is the important part, because when I give someone a product sample, I've given them something, they have to reciprocate something back. Most of the time, that is their time. Because what I want them to do is I want them to check out the videos. I'm going to lead them to the different Facebook groups. I love, one of the reasons why I'm so excited as having you as a sponsor, Brandon, is, you've got so much that you're doing for the team. You've got the Facebook groups going. You've got, all these different ways that we can go ahead and communicate and show benefits to our prospects, because our true purpose is to guide people and not necessarily sell. We want to guide people into evaluating for themselves. The internet has educated people so much. Back when I first got started doing network marketing almost 30 years ago, it was about, knowing what to say and just having so much information and being able to deliver it yourself. But now, people don't like for you to just go ahead and tell them and tell them and tell them. They like to go out and check it out for themselves. And so our purpose is guiding people and not necessarily selling them. And then the next part, this is where I do like to get involved, because if there's a prospect on the team who's gone through step 1 and step 2, now I'll do a 3-way call. So Brandon, if someone's shared, a few videos with you, and if they've shared some product samples with you, now it's really easy, because now when I call you, all I've got to do is just ask you from everything that you've seen, everything that you've heard. I know that Lynette tells me that she's giving you some product samples. So from what you've seen, heard, from what you've tasted, tell me, what do you like best? Okay, and so I'm very specific from everything you've seen, everything you've heard, the products that you have tried. What do you like best? I never ask, what do you think? Because if you leave it way too open-ended, people will tell you all kinds of freaky stuff. And so what I want to do is I want to be specific from everything you've seen, everything you heard. What do you like best? And then, so they'll tell me what they like best. And then I'll start to answer some questions. Well, let me ask you, do you have 2-3 questions that I could answer for you that would go ahead and help you make your decision to get started? Whether it's as a customer, whether it's as a distributor. So what 2-3 questions could I answer for you right now, Brandon, that would go ahead and help you get started? Okay, so I'll answer your questions. And then based upon that, if we're going products, I'll go ahead and I'll pick out, so let me ask you, what's most convenient for you right now? The dual synergizer, the vitality stack. Perhaps you'd like to go ahead and get the beauty system as well as the vitality stack. So I'll go ahead and I'll ask some questions, and I'll, not what do you want to buy, but which is most convenient for you right now. If they're business oriented, we've got the starter kits, right? So I'll ask, from the 3 packages that we have available, we've got the silver, the gold, and the platinum package. Which of the 3 is most convenient for you right now? And so, what I'll do is I'll always go ahead and help people get started right now. To me, it's not important where they start. It's more important where they want to end up, okay? So again, I'll take them through this process right here. And then the last step is to duplicate. Go ahead and upgrade. Okay, so I call it duplicate. I call it upgrade, because in baseball, it's not about how many times you get to third base. So someone can go ahead and be throwing out a shutout the entire game, right? And then the other team can also, have a shutout, but the other team maybe is getting on base over and over again. They've gotten a lot of runners to third base. But that team that maybe has been shut out, maybe even no hit, the 27th out of the game comes up and hits a home run, and now steps on first, second, and third. what happens? The team that got one single runner on base but managed to touch home, that's the team that won. So it's not about how many times you can get people to third base and then they quit. It's about how many times you can take them through the entire process and actually step on home. Because when they step on home, when you duplicate, when they upgrade, that's when you actually score the run, okay? So customers, our job is to become the best customer manager possible. What does the customer manager mean? And this is the concept that you and I talked about. Customer manager is get to know your customers really well. Become a concierge customer manager, you know? And what you've really got to do is you got to start off with yourself. Be a walking billboard. So what you want to do is you want to make certain that you're using all the products yourself. You know, I'm my best customer. My wife is also, you know, my best customer. My people that are close to me, you know, I want them to be the best customers possible. I start off with me being a walking billboard, and then I may start them off real small. You know, if somebody just starts on the Nerf 2, that doesn't matter to me, because I know that I'm going to continue to share information with them. I'm going to continue to share more products with them, because my overall target is to eventually help that customer get to about 200 PV. Okay, I want to help them get to 200 PV, so I'm going to share with them different things, including the loyalty, the loyalty rewards program, the referral program, because check this out. Okay, if all they are doing is just getting a Nerf 2 bottle from me, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them, hey, Brandon, how would you like to be able to get your products for free? How would you like to get your Nerf 2 bottle for free? Well, I'd love to do that. Great. Look, all you've got to do is just refer 2 new customers to me per month. And if you refer 2 new customers to me per month, you're going to be able to have your bottle of Nerf 2 absolutely free. So really learn how to master the referral program. I love it. You know, most companies, you normally need about 3 customers to be able to get your basic product for free. With us, it's only 2. What does that mean? It makes it that much more simple to go ahead and get that person to free product. But now, because you're introducing them to additional products, right? You're maybe giving them a few of the different axial samples. What I love doing, and I was just sharing this with Brendan, this is my new thing right here, okay? I take the vitality stack. You know,
wait, guys. Listen carefully to what he's about to tell you, because this is golden. Lay it on, Carlos. This is awesome.
And you know, and Brandon, you and I don't think about this, right? Because we're men, right? So we don't think about the common stuff sometimes, right? At least I don't. You know, I don't think about the very common sense stuff. And so, you know, I was a little bit perturbed when I found out that, you know, the dual synergizer sample packs were going to go away. I'm like, oh man, you know, because I really teach people how to share those out. So I'm perturbed, I'm bummed, I'm thinking about, you know, calling Justin Rose, and I was going to tell Justin, man, if you would have told me you were going to go ahead and get rid of these, I would have never joined LifeVantage. You know, I was like seriously upset that they were getting rid of those. And then, you know, I'm looking at my vitality stack. And as I'm looking at my vitality stack, right, I start taking them. I don't take them all at one single shot. You know, I first take my dual synergizer, my Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and then I take, you know, one of the pearls, you know, the probiotic pearls with each of my meals. And then I normally take my Omega with the D3. I normally take it like during the middle of the day. And so I grabbed some scissors. Instead of carrying them all around in my pocket, right, the big old strip, I went ahead and I started cutting them up. After all, they come in these little packages of, you know, 3 separate things, and you got plastic right down the middle, so they're not all mixed. So I start mixing it or cutting it, right? So I start cutting it, and I'm like, okay, you know, this is kind of cool. I've got my Nerf 1, Nerf 2 combo again. And so the other day, you know, going to the whole thing about sharing more samples with my customers, which is, you know, part of the next thing that I was going to talk about a little over here. What I started doing was, this lady, you know, she called me up because she's about to go on her vacation, and she says, I need my True Science, I need my whole system, and I need it right now. And so I made an appointment with her to go deliver the True Science beauty system to her, right? That she orders. She orders it like once every 2 months from me, because, you know, she doesn't use it all up. And so, you know, I went to meet with her, And I've got the vitality stack cut up in threes, and in the three parts. And as we get to talking, she says how she absolutely, she's just looking for something for her digestive system. She's about to go traveling, and she says, I need something for my digestive system. And so I pull out my probiotics now that I've cut up. Before I couldn't do that because the probiotics came in a full bag, right? Or a full bottle, I'm sorry. So now I'm able to just share the probiotics. And then I'm like, and what about, are you concerned at all with your circulatory system, with cognitive health? She says, absolutely. I say, here, let me also share some of these other little sample packs. This was the vitamin D3 and the omega, right, together. And so now I'm sharing this with her, and now I'm teaching everyone, just cut them up. Cut up your vitality stack into the three parts. So that way, if you feel they're not going to go ahead and buy the complete vitality stack, don't push them away. Don't create too much resistance by pushing them away. What you do is you simply go ahead and you start off by, again, step by step, expose, involve, commit,
Right.
upgrade, right?
Right.
And
That's
so,
the commitment part.
yeah.
That's what's so brilliant about this is Carlos is king at closing the deal. And so this is the commitment part, guys. Instead of the vitality stack is by far the best thing. But and you got 3 samples right here. Like it's one stack, but it's 3 samples right there. I mean, I think it's brilliant. And it's cheaper. It's cheaper than the old samples.
Yeah, because I mean, if you were to go out and buy, the 3 products, a la carte, it's $178 or something like that, $168. But when you buy the vitality stack, it's only 151, so you're actually saving money. Now, I was so excited. I thought it was just an absolute genius, when I, started doing this. And I look at my wife, Kumi, and I'm telling her all excited about what I'm doing. She goes, yeah. I mean, why didn't you think of that before? Yeah, it's only common sense, right? Well, woman, And then my daughter Kirsten, she overheard the conversation. She goes, Dad, you hadn't thought of that? But my 2 boys, they were impressed too, right? So, it's funny. And here's what, what I want to get to. One customer that you have, if you teach them how to go ahead and use the loyalty rewards program and the referral program, because they're really 2. Loyalty rewards is for you being a loyal customers. Referral program is for referring customers out. If you go ahead and you work with your customer and your goal, is let them see how simple it is to get their product for free, they'll refer to you. And this is 2 per month. I mean, if you're doing it right, you've got like this unlimited bunch of customers. So who cares if you're NFL? Because if you're NFL, you don't need, those friends. I don't even get mad at them anymore. I let them hang out. It's just that our level of fun is a lot different. Their level of fun might be going skiing to, Big Bird. That's our local mountains here in Southern California, where we can go skiing. California is kind of cool because we can go to the beach. We can go ahead and.
Oh, that's enough of the California stuff. That's enough of the California stuff already.
All in the same day. And so we might go to, to.
And you can pay 10% income tax too. That's good.
And that's okay. You know what? If you want to play, you got to pay. So don't worry about it. And so anyways, when we go skiing, we go to Whistler, right? So, that's okay. It's the level of fun that you want to have. And so anyways, I work 3 levels deep because when you work 3 levels deep on customers, they can bring you 6 or more customers, right? If you look at this little graphic right here. But if you just keep going, I mean, you never run out of customers because, once you have a customer, you explain the same concept to them, you give them more samples. I just spent so much time giving away samples of this, samples of that, and so now they're, I'm getting more share of customer. That's the other part that I was explaining to Brandon. You get more share of customers. People are going to spend the money. They're going to spend it at Whole Foods. They're going to spend it at Mother's Market. They're going to spend it at Trader Joe's. They're going to spend it at GNC. They're going to spend it somewhere. And if they're going to spend it somewhere, they may as well spend it with you. And by you, giving away some of these samples, be willing to invest into your business, I guess is what I'm saying. If you're willing to invest into your business, what's going to happen is you're going to go ahead and get more coming back. Work through people that have circles of influence. One of the key people that works in my team, he's into karate. He's a karate instructor. He's into karate studios. I love going and talking to studios, Zumba studios, karate studios, because instead of just focusing on one single customer, now that business owner has all these different customers that they're going to lead you to. So, I mean, I just wish there were enough time in the day to go ahead and get to all those potential customers that are out there. And then what do? You convert customers into distributors. That's the part that I'm telling you, types of people that will participate. Customers use products. Notice this arrow, because customers will use products, but then as you begin to teach them to refer customers and get their products for free, it's so simple to lead them into being distributors. Distributors share products and the business. And so by teaching customers to not only be a great customer user of products, but then begin to share for you, you can easily upgrade them to being a distributor. Now, preparation is key. Once you become a distributor, now you got to learn to share. Use your tools. KISS, keep it short and simple. I know that we have some Southerners on the line, and we got some, people from upstate New York on the line, or New Jersey. So I know KISS in different regions means different things. Here in California, it means keep it short and simple. If you're in the South, keep it short, keep it simple, sweetie. And if you're up in, New Jersey, keep it simple, stupid. And then, New York, I don't even want to get into some of the stuff they say in New York, but, different meaning in different areas. Learn how to share your story, have your 2-minute story ready, have one ready for products, have one on the business, always just real short, real simple, compelling, so that it creates that invitation. So people ask you more. And it's not a resistance where people are putting up a wall. Focus on the benefits. Don't overload with information, so don't talk about, all the different clinical studies. To me, it's very simple. What this product does, it helps reduce oxidative stress. What's oxidative stress? Doctor talked about it. He says, basically it's your cells, getting all rusted out. And so I've got this little picture that I use. I should actually put it up, and I apologize, I didn't think of it. But I've got this picture from Model T that's all rusted out, right? I went online and I said, before Nerf 2, after Nerf 2. Before the Nerf 2, that's that Model T all rusted out. Tires are not even on it anymore. And then after Nerf 2, I've got this picture of this classic, right? It's a Model T that's been refurbished. It's all decked out. I mean, it looks really good. Sorry, Brandon, I'll get you that picture for some other time. You'll see it when I'm in Orlando on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But anyways, it's really cool. And so, visual, the visuals always help out so much. So instead of talking about, all the different antioxidant, the antioxidant enzymes and all that, here's before, here's after Nerf 2. And again, keeping it real simple, always keep adding to your funnel, prospect and recruit at every opportune moment. And by opportune moment, we have to be smart. There's also a reason why sometimes we kind of get on people's nerves. I had this distributor once tell me that they went to a family funeral, and they were so excited because they got back, because everyone at the family funeral was so fat. And so they went around telling everyone, if you don't want to be the next one on the list, you got to start taking my product. This is and I'm like, oh my goodness. It just tells you you just can't, when I say every opportune moment, I mean, like if I'm on a recruiting spree, let's just say like the other day when we were in New York, right, Brandon? We were busy. I wasn't necessarily going out trying to recruit, but I did go by my wife, Mother's Day present, because I knew once I landed in San Diego, real ugly, right over the ocean and the palm trees and all that stuff. But anyways, I knew that when I would land in ugly San Diego, I better be prepared for Mother's Day present. And so I went over to Macy's, across the street from the office where we were working out of, and I came across a few people, and I've got my business card, right? And all I basically say to them, hey, you know, I'm like the salesperson that came up to me, can I help you with something? And, you know, most of the time, most people say, nah, I'm okay. I always make certain, sure, you know, I'm looking for a Mother's Day present. And by the way, you know, I'm also expanding my business here into New York. And I'm looking for some people, you know, who'd like a side hustle, you know, make an extra $500 to $1,000, you know, a month. Would you happen to know if anyone? And then the key people, I said, well, what is it? I'm like, well, you know, you're working. And really, I'm in a big hurry because I've got to go ahead and I've got to, you know, get back to a training that I'm doing. But here's my business card. Would you mind if, you know, you gave me your phone number? I'd like to text you a couple links to a few videos. Just have, you know, take a quick look at them. It's only going to take about 10, 12 minutes. Take a look at them. And if you like what you see, or if you know if anyone that likes what they, you know, that would like what you've seen, perhaps you can go ahead and refer them to me. Maybe we can talk some more. Only takes about a minute or two, right, to do that whole pitch right there. And if I did it 3 times a day, 4 days a week, that's 12 exposures per week, right? Times 4 weeks a month, that's 48 exposures. That means that's 50 new people that I've spoken to. Now, to me, you know, I don't care who says yes, who says no. To me, it's important that I did my process, that I talked to the 50 people. Because if I talk to the 50 people, I know that 50% don't want anything to do with what I've got. 30% are going to go ahead and lie to me. They're going to pretend that like they're interested, but never really follow through with anything. And 20% are going to do something, even if it's just being a customer. But if I'm leading them through the process, if I'm leading them through this entire process that I'm talking about, you never know when you might have the next Henry in your organization. And Henry's just absolutely killing it right now. So we kind of have to, you know, go through the process. We have to be willing to do the work, keep it simple. And you know, there's a lot more stuff that I'd love to be able to go through, but I know that right now I'm up on my 20 minutes, Brandon. I promise I'm just going to take another couple of minutes because we duplicate through distributors. Following a lot of the same example, you don't have to go out and recruit 1 million, because what am I going to do with the person that finally says yes? Well, you know, if they get started with either a silver, a gold, or a platinum package, my first goal is to help that person recover their startup cost. So how do you recover the startup cost? By helping them develop 3 people, 1, 2, 3 right away. Do it fast, do it within their first week. And if you're putting that urgency on it, and see, you're the sponsor, you're the one that knows, that it means you're taking someone from not knowing into knowing. You're taking them from dark to light. And so it's not important that they know how to recruit and do all this. You work through their list. Who do you know, right? So you help them sponsor, get their money back, because it becomes real when they get paid. And when they get paid, then, you know, you've just gotten one level down where you've told them what to do, you've shown them what to do. Next, you're gonna have them trying it, and you're not gonna leave them alone until they are doing it. You know, my best people, you know, I don't even call them up daily to talk about the business. I don't even call them weekly to talk about the business, but I do call them daily to see how they're doing. I call them weekly to make certain that they're having enough fun in their life. Okay, so belief will build the third type of people. Okay, so you've taken someone from being a customer, you've taken someone into being a distributor. Okay, so we've done those steps. What is the third type of person that we're going to go ahead and come across, or we're going to develop? Those are leaders. Those are the business builders. Okay, so when you do this properly, this is where we're going to build the leaders. This is why I was sharing with Brandon. You know, some of these people that I'm working with, it's not that they're overnight successes. We have built relationships over time. And so we've taken them through this process over time. It just so happens that when we came into LifeVantage, we were prepared. You see, everything we've done in the past has been preparation for the moment that we found the right company, okay? So key points about leaders, you know, they all start like a little seed, right? They all start like a little seed, and then, you know, they begin to grow a little bit, and finally, you know, they begin to go above ground, and before you know it, you've got yourself, you know, a tree. You know, I'll talk about avocados at some other point, but I'll tell you, you know, why to me leaders are like avocado trees. So people don't want, the key points about leaders, you want people that want to grow. Personal development's the key. That's one of the other things I appreciate about Team True Blue. It's not about just taking people and having them, you know, stay the same. It's about growing. It's about personal development. You know, John Maxwell, you know, one of the first things that I saw as I was coming into this, I didn't go to that first Elite Academy in Orlando, but when I found out that John Maxwell was the featured trainer, the key speaker, I said, wow, okay, this is a company that truly has leadership in mind, because that's the most valuable thing, you know, that you could possibly do is develop other leaders. So understand there's a learning curve and it can take time. Have a burning desire to succeed. Continually raise your standards. Brandon, I'm gonna be testing you, by the way, when I see you on Wednesday, because I gave you that audio on raising your standards. Give your leaders space to grow by leading their teams, and be committed to being the best distributor in your organization. So if you commit to being the best distributor in your organization, if you know you've got your people that are chasing after you, that's the best thing you could possibly do. By committed to being the best, you're going to create this attitude of people wanting to come, you know, behind you, trying to beat you. When somebody in my team says, man, I'm going to smoke what you've done, I say, you know, bless you, brother. I'm here to help you do that. And so, you know, those are some of the key points that I kind of wanted to share. And how do I give you the screen back, Brandon? Brandon, are you there?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm here. Let's see if I can do
Stop
that.
share.
There we go. Maybe you did
I
it.
did that.
Well,
Stop the. Yeah.
there you go. Well, guys, now you can see why I didn't want to wait any longer to get Carlos in front of the organization. He is a beast. He could go on and on and on. Carlos, thanks for sharing that. I'm almost left without words about how grateful we are for what you've already brought to the organization. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are gonna want to say, "Hey, put me in front of that guy. How can I get in touch with that guy?" Well, you can go to Elite Academy in Anaheim. Yes, I know it's in sunny California. Well, last time I was in California, it was hot and raining, so I don't know. But anyway.
That's how we keep some people away from time to time.
I
When
see.
too many people come over, we kind of like giving them that, so they don't want to just jump in, you know?
I got you. Well, his nickname is also Rhino, Mr. Rhino, the Rhino, because he's got thick skin. That's part of it is for being a leader, because you're going to take a lot of shots. But guys, you just got a little bit of some amazing stuff from Carlos and how he, he's building he's already got an organization that's done over 400,000 in sales. And what's beautiful is he understands the power of customers and getting them involved and then committed, right? I mean, and that's what we're going to transition to Tim Cox with now. So Carlos, thanks for being on. We're going to go over to Tim Cox.
I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tim Cox, Pro 8, him and his wife, Sarah, not a new daddy, but just got the announcement he's having another daughter. And this is a great, great transition to Tim, because we were talking about how it just seems like some people are in the internal follow-up stage of their business. They're just like, they're following up to the point where they are running people out, like the no friends left. And by the way, guys, I do have some of those people like that I used to do a lot of things with. And when I'm with them now, they bore me. They just really do. I mean, because they're not growing. People in LifeVantage are growing, and they're not. Like, they're the same person mentally they were 15 years ago. How exciting is that? I mean, it's not, right? And so Tim and I were talking about getting people off of the hump, man. Like, why are we following up for people who we shouldn't be following up with? So, Tim, thanks for being on here, and I'd love for you to take this over now and share some insights and training on what you're doing and the process to get people to say yes, to commit.
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Can you hear me okay?
You're good.
Hey, first and foremost, can everybody in the comment section just show some love for this training? I mean, I am blown away by how good this thing was. I'm sitting here blown away. I'm like, what do I have to add at the end of this training with so many good people? From everybody from Jill to Dr. DeLucia to the Rhino. I mean, that's the first time I got a chance to see him do some training. But I want to kind of cover a little bit of social media first and foremost, and I'll try to cram this in about 10 minutes here. But I love what Carlos said about he may not be an expert on social media, but he knows he's going to have a lot of people in his organization that will be into social media. And that's something I've been saying all along, that you may never be an expert at social media. You may never be building 100% of social media, but you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be on social media. So the best thing you can do for your organization as a leader is to show them that you at least are committed to learning a little bit about it. Because the last thing you want to do is tell them that you don't know anything about social media and it doesn't work. And then they figure out that there's some people killing it on social media, and that's the way they wanted to build it all along. But when it comes down to building on social media, the expectations have to be set properly about what it really takes to be successful in social media. And the best way I can show what expectations mean is if you look at a restaurant, say for instance, you go eat at a restaurant where it's $10 a plate, right? It's a hole in the wall restaurant. And you go there and it is the absolute best meal you've ever had. What are you going to do? Not only are you going to go back there multiple times, you're going to tell all of your friends. Why? Because your expectations were exceeded of what you had for that restaurant. Now, on the flip side, imagine if you went to a restaurant and it's $100 a plate and everybody's talking about this 5-star restaurant and how great it is, and you go there and it's the worst experience of your life. What happens? You'll never go back to that restaurant, and you'll probably go tell everybody it's the worst experience ever. And so when it comes down to network marketing and social media, having those expectations set properly is everything, because when your expectations aren't met, it leads to disappointment. And when disappointment happens, everybody's going to run away from network marketing and tell you that doesn't work, right? So when it comes down to building on social media, your expectations have to be set properly about what it really takes to be successful in building on social media. Now, I think when a lot of people start transitioning to social media, because physically it's a little easier to build on social media, people tend to think it's the easy route. It's the easy way to go. And I'm here to tell you that it may be easier physically because you don't have to physically go and build and get in the car, but mentally it may be just as hard, if not harder than it is to build offline. And so I want you to have those expectations about what it takes. It takes a lot of work to build on social media. You have to be diligent. And typically when it comes down to Facebook, it's been a place that we sort of detach from reality, right? We scroll. It doesn't take much brain power to just scroll on social media. And now what Brandon said earlier is that you have to take your social media and use it as a business platform. And that change from going to just vegging out and just scrolling to actually being intentional on social media, it's a hard transition for some people to make. But you have to look at it as one person in your business one person can completely change your business. 2 people can completely change your life. I heard one of the top earners in the industry say that before. He said, one person in your business can change it. 2 people in your business can completely change your life. And so I want to ask you, if it takes for you to be diligent and do the monotonous and sometimes boring work of building on social media, but it leads you to that one person that completely changes your business, what is that worth it to you? Like, is it worth it to you to actually learn how to do that skill set and actually learn to properly build on Facebook? It is absolutely worth it, because when you get to a place where your business is growing and thriving, you're going to think back at that. What was it, that one moment that changed it for my business? I can think back for Sarah and I, the people that came into our business, like it took one moment of courage to reach out to that one person, but it was the diligent effort of consistently talking to the list, consistently talking to the people that led to that one person. And so that's how you have to think of it. Like, one person can come into your business and completely change it, but it'll take you some diligent effort to get those people into your business. So in network marketing, you actually get rewarded and paid for the efforts that you're going to put into your business. It's like investing time and energy into your business. You don't get paid on all the yeses and the people that come in and succeed. You get paid for all the no's. And so I just want to challenge you to continue to invest your time and energy into building, because it's going to pay you tenfold in rewards later on. And so I want to cover some of the most important things for me when it comes down to building on social media. And I sort of wrote out this list, the top 10 things that can maybe help you change your efforts on social media. Then I'll go into what Brandon said about getting people to make that commitment. Number 1, you have to be disciplined. Discipline is everything. Like I said, taking a platform that's typically one where we get into the scroll hole and turning it into a business platform, it takes a lot of discipline. So you'll have to prioritize your business. Number 2, plan. Preparation is the key. And Brandon talked a little bit about having this DMO, right? You have to not only have your DMO, right? But you have to plan out your weeks and plan out your days in advance. And so what we like to do is on Sunday, we map out what we're going to do on social media, right? We have that plan in place. And then the night before each day, we like to plan a little bit more detail what we're going to do. But every single day, number 3 is having that DMO. Your daily method of operation is everything in your business, because if you don't have your DMO, especially if you work a job, if you're working a traditional job, you only have small pockets of time to work your business. If you don't have a daily method of operation, it's going to be very hard for you to get the work done in your business. But number 4 is within that DMO, you have to have your IPAs prioritized, your income producing activities. Because if you just have a small window of time, and let's say, for instance, you have 1 hour to work your business. And I know every single person watching this right now is going to relate to what I'm about to say. You have 1 hour of time to work your business and you're like, I'm going to go work my business on social media. You spend the first 20 minutes of your time watching a Facebook Live or a training, right? You spend the next 20 minutes of time scrolling through your business. And the next 15 minutes or so, you're looking at some other stuff. And before you know it, you ran out of time. You feel like you're physically working your business, but you're not doing any of the income producing activities. When it comes down to social media, the income producing activities is connecting with people, inviting them to see the information, sharing the information, and following up and doing the close, right? Those are your income producing activities. And if the less time you have on social media, the more you need to be very specific and diligent with those income producing activities. They have to be at the very beginning of your time on social media. So if you only have an hour, take the first 30 minutes and do those income producing activities. And if you get those out of the way, you can spend the next 30 minutes doing whatever you want on Facebook, whatever you want on social media. But the less you prioritize the income producing activities, you're going to be all day doing all these things, getting ready, get ready, going through the trainings, watching the Facebook Lives, and never connecting with people, never doing invites. And you're going to feel like, man, I'm working my business on social media. I'm not having any success. It's because you're not prioritizing the income producing activities, right? Number 5 is, yes.
Tim, would you say that having conversations is should be at the top of those income producing one of the top activities would be actual conversations, wouldn't you say?
Yes. I mean, having conversation is just something you need to be doing every single day. Having those conversations, whether it's the initial conversation or the follow-up conversations. But what we like to do is, even though we do build a lot on social media, right? We do a lot of messenger stuff. We do a lot of chatting. Getting those into a video conference or onto a phone call for us is still very, very important, because it's super, super hard to get somebody to commit to you if they've never heard your voice, right? Maybe you can do voice chat, but if you can transition those conversations into a face-to-face, right, and bring a third party in, for us has been the most powerful part of getting people to make that decision, right? But being consistent, right? Consistent action creates consistent results. Inconsistency stops the growth of almost everything. And so in your business, if you're not consistently doing the daily method of operation and prioritizing your income producing activities, your results are going to be like this: up and down, up and down, and down. And it's very hard to get momentum whenever you get into that up and down. So you have to be very consistent with your days. And it goes back all about planning. You have to plan. If you don't plan, guys, it's not going to happen for you in your business, right? Number 6, and we'll kind of transition to what Brandon was talking about. Don't build rapport forever. Let people know your intention. And this is something that I struggled with when I first started building on social media. I was having these great conversations with people. I was building relationships. But guess what? Months and months and months would go by and I would never do an invite. And so if you don't at least let them know what your intention is early on in the process, it's going to be very hard for you to transition into inviting them into business, because once you do it, they're going to feel like this is the only reason why this person ever wanted to be friends with me. So sometimes being open and upfront early on in the process that, hey, I want to be connected, but letting them know what your intention is makes all the difference in the world. And so if you have these people on your list that you're building rapport with, you've got to learn how to transition those people into having a business conversation and doing an invite. If not, you're just going to be making a whole bunch of friends on Facebook, and you're never gonna transition. And so what I've been doing a lot of with my people, especially the ones I've been building a relationship with, is just coming out and saying it, right? In the conversation, like, look, I just want to let you know, this is what I have going on, and I would love to work with you, or give me the opportunity to show you what we're working on. And people appreciate authenticity and honesty when it comes down to inviting them to take a look at your information. I think sometimes we get too cute with it. We do too much rapport and we try to do all these fancy tricks. And sometimes they want you to be open and honest with what you want with them. And I'll use an example. There's a girl I've been building a relationship with. She's super, super successful in another company. And over the last probably year, I've been building rapport with her. And that was another one I looked at. I'm like, why am I building rapport forever? The last thing I want is for me to find out that she is looking for a company and she joins another company, I never told her that my intention was to maybe potentially work for her. And I just, one day I said, look, I was on the motorhome tour and I was, you know, you get in that environment with movers and shakers like Fred and Justin. And I was inspired. I was like, okay, I need to start going after some major players that I have on my list. And I just laid it out to her. I said, look, I just want to let you know, I've never tried to recruit you before, but I was thinking the other day, I said, look, I just want to let you know that I love the way you work. I love the way you hustle. And I know you're happy with your company, but if it ever comes to a situation where you're looking for another company, I just want you to know where I stand. I wouldn't be a good networker if I didn't let you know that I would love to work with you and I think we could do amazing things together. And after a few exchanges back and forth, guess what she said? She said, I'm always open and send me the compensation plan. I want to take a look at it. Right. And so if I hadn't been open and honest with her about my intention, right, then we would have never got to that point. And if she ever finds a situation where she's not happy with her company and she goes with somebody else, I'll be kicking myself forever for not throwing out that invite and letting her know my intention. And so now that she knows my intention, it goes up into the follow-up phase where now she knows what I want. And she knows I'm there, and now I can diligently follow up, give her more information, and then hopefully whenever she's, you know, finding herself looking a little bit more, then she'll potentially join me. And so I've been doing that with multiple people over the last few weeks, is really just letting them know what my intention is so I can get it to the follow-up phase, because the fortune happens in the follow-up. You guys know it never happens in the first invite, rarely ever. You've got to let them know your intention so you can get them to that follow-up phase. But number 7 is don't be afraid to close. Don't be afraid to let them know if they're interested. You've got to bring in a third party sometimes. And that's why when it goes back to like getting people on a phone call or getting them to a video conference and bringing that third party in, although you're building on social media, sometimes it's very easy to try to go at it like the Lone Ranger and do it all yourself. It's still important to use third-party tools, and it's still important to use third-party validators whenever you can. And so we do three-way messengers. We'll bring a third party in, but as soon as we can, we try to get it to a video conference, or if they're not comfortable with a video conference, we try to get it to a three-way call, and that way we can have that conversation live. And that's been a big difference maker for us, is getting that third party on and looking people face-to-face. Like, we love kneecap to kneecap, right? We've already established that it works. Sarah and I have built a business that has generated millions and millions of dollars in sales, and most of that was done face-to-face. But the reality is you can't always do it. And the second best thing is getting on video conference, because it's just as good, in my opinion, without having to make the drive. And people can do it from a safe place. And so get people to those face-to-face meetings as fast as you can. And then the follow-up, guys. So somebody asked me the other day, you have your daily method of operation. Like, how many people do you follow up with a day? And my answer was, however many that I have scheduled, right? You don't schedule like, hey, I'm going to follow up with 10 people. The more you're doing this process of inviting people and getting them to the follow-up phase, you always need to set the follow-up up at the current conversation, right? You set that so if I'm talking to Brandon right now and he's maybe a 6th level, I don't just let him go with some homework like, hey, take a look at this, we'll talk later. I say, take a look at this information and let's talk again in a week. Or take a look at this information, let's talk in a few days. And then I pencil it into my calendar. So it all has a compounding effect. The more people you're talking to, and every time you talk to them, you schedule the next follow-up and put it in your calendar. So how many people do you follow up with? When you open your calendar and you see how many follow-ups you have scheduled, that's how many follow-ups you do.
Guys, circle that in your notes. Circle that in your notes, guys. That, what Tim just told you, never, ever end a phone call or a video without, if they don't say yes, never hang up or press end until you get a scheduled follow-up. Like, you know, if you're giving them samples and it's a 5-day sample, tell them, I gave you a 5-day sample. I'm going to call you if it works for you in 5 days. What's a good time on Monday? That's circle that in your notes. Tim just gave you gold.
Yeah, that's a big deal, and it shows urgency. And some other people will say, well, how soon should I follow up? Well, it just depends on their interest level. If they say I'm a 3 out of 10, I'm not going to call them back in a few days, right? I'm going to say, look, I'll check back with you in a couple months and see if something changes. And I'll put it in my calendar, right? And I'll jot some notes. This person was a 3 out of 10. But if it's somebody who's a 6 or 7 or 8, like, you need to follow up sooner. Give them something to look at, and then follow up sooner than later. And also say that we use the ATM process, right? We use the process of adding people to groups. Always set the next conversation up whenever you add them to the group. Don't just add them and leave them in there and say, okay, check it out and we'll talk later. Say, look, I'm going to add you to this group. Let's talk tonight at 7 o'clock. And so it puts some urgency for them to go and actually look at the information. And maybe they need a little bit more time. Maybe, look, I'm going to add you to this community and we'll talk tomorrow at the same time. Is that good for you? Will that work for you? When they give you the green light, we set the reminder. If you're in Messenger, you can set the plan, right? And the next time when it comes up, it'll remind them, it'll remind you, and then you can both be reminded that you're supposed to talk again. And so this process really, you have to track what you're doing, guys. You have to track what you're doing. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how do you keep track of all your prospects? You're doing it all on social media. And yes, I use the Facebook lists out there to put people in certain lists. But you know how I really track what I'm doing? This right here. Notebooks. Notebooks. I have 2 separate notebooks that I use to keep track of every person that I'm talking to. The first notebook is a lead notebook. This notebook has to stay on you every single day. This is your master list. If you meet somebody in the grocery store, add them to your lead notebook. If you meet somebody on Facebook, add them to your lead notebook, right? The second notebook is a prospect notebook. And a lot of people don't know the difference between a lead and a prospect. A lead is a person you just make contact with. They're somebody you could potentially show your business or products to. A prospect is somebody that you've actually done an invite, shown them some information, and you're starting to have the business or product conversations. And so the goal is to fill this lead book up with as many people as you can. Every single day, this list should continue to grow. And the goal is to get people from this notebook to this notebook, the prospect notebook. And this is where the magic happens. And so I love paper. I do love technology and all that, but I love the fact that when you write something in here, when you track your prospects and you jot some notes down, it doesn't change. It's there and it stays the same. And so you're always writing down the dates of your conversation, when you talk to them last, and every single day. This is the first thing I do, right? So I had to get really intentional with my business on social media because I felt it's starting to get kind of chaotic in my world. And so obviously with a young baby, and Sarah and I both work at home, I said, look, I just need a couple hours every single day that I need to go intentionally work my business. And the first thing that I do every single day when I work my business is I sit down with my notebooks and I go through my leads and I go through my prospects and I reach out to people and I do some invites and I get this out of the way because this is the income producing activities. And once I've gotten this out of the way, then I can go do my other stuff, right? So you have to prioritize those income producing activities, and everything in your business is going to have a compounding effect. If you haven't read the book by Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, it is one of the books that when people say, what's a book that changed your life? The Compound Effect seriously changed my life because it taught me the value of doing small things repetitively every single day, and it has a compounding effect in your life. And so if you want to fill your funnel, like Carlos talked about with people, you have to do it diligently and you have to do it every single day. And it may be rough for you right now. You're like, I'm just starting my list, but I promise you, if you do it diligently every single day, 90 days from now, 180 days from now, your business is going to be completely different. And so don't be afraid to do the boring, monotonous work of going through your list and making connections and doing those invites, because that's the money-making activities. They may not pay you today, right? This is not linear income. Nobody's going to pay you an hourly wage for going through your prospects and leads and all that stuff, but it will pay you later on in leveraged income, and that's what this is all about. And so, Brandon, man, I appreciate all the effort that you put into. If you guys have not been to the True Blue website, like he was talking about, you guys just have no idea how much time and energy and work that Brandon and Lynette have put into getting this system in place. And the goal is to have a system-dependent business, right? Have a business that people have a system and a team that they can rely on. And that website is a game changer for our business. And it's continuing to evolve. I was getting texts during this training, and they were saying, man, the website is really good. The Getting Started checklist is really good. I'm like, it's evolving, it's getting better. So get ready. We're getting this system in place for what's about to happen with our company. So I'm pumped up and excited. We have the motorhome tour tonight in New Orleans, and just happy to be a part of this training. And I'll hand it back over to you, Brandon.
Thanks, dude. That was amazing. That was super, super good stuff. And I wish we could keep going on, but we made a commitment to people that this would be 2 hours, and we're already a few minutes beyond that. In fact, I have some notes that I was going to share for a few minutes, but there's no time. So I read in a book a long time ago that you always let your leaders eat. And you guys, I'll take a second seat to you guys any day and let you guys train. I'd rather listen than talk anyway. So thank all of you for being on here. I hope you guys enjoyed your very first True Blue LifeVantage Academy virtual style. We're going to do it exactly again 4 weeks from today, the third Saturday of June, which I think is the 19th, but it's the third Saturday of June. We're going to be right back here on your computer, on your television, on your tablet, on your device, doing it virtual. I hope some of you did it in your pajamas. I hope some of you had some pancakes and eggs and orange juice, or some of you had lunch while you were doing this. I hope you were able to do this from a level of comfort, to leverage the time, right? Not so that we could be lazy, but so that we could use the extra time not given now or given now to build a business and be productive. Those income, IPA, right? Income producing activities. I love it. You guys did a phenomenal job today. And I'm going to answer maybe a couple questions. I'm going to stop the recording. But thank all of you for being on here today. And guys, the team is on fire. Go out and get a new ID number. Go personally enroll a customer or distributor this month, guys. Apply some of the things you heard today. Get people committed. Get them upgraded. Value your customers. And go build a big business. Go build a big business. Thank you guys all for being on here. So let me stop the recording.